Hi everyone, hello, welcome. I've been getting ready, so I may be a minute or so late, so my apologies for that. I was trying not to make you watch all the die cutting like we did last time. So how is everyone? I see you've been getting all chatty. You've been talking about glues. I haven't even had a chance to look, because that's what we're going to talk about today, which I'm pretty excited about because, you know me, I love my glues. And I had a lot of chat happening at my last video, which was a back to basics video about glues, where I was discussing what glues we need as paper crafters, not necessarily the brands, because basically the brands don't matter. You need to get what's best for you. So welcome, I'm so glad you're here. I had a lot of questions as well, so I thought I'd address some of those and have a chat with you guys, and hopefully we'll make a card. And that's why I was trying to do the die cutting, so that'll save us a bit of time. We'll see. I got a lot of stuff on my desk here today, and not much that you can see just yet. So I had this set out. I don't know if you saw these cards that I made. They're like a really pretty spellbinder set. So I thought this sentiment and some of these flowers, they've got some pretty intricate parts. So I thought they'd be really good to do some glue techniques with. We'll see. Things might not stick, but we'll give it a go. So where do we start? We can start, I don't know, gotta say, when it comes to paper crafters and glues, there are kind of three categories. There's so many extra specialty glues that you can use for whatever purposes, like vellums, dimension, all those things that I hadn't actually touched on. But the main three categories I decided were liquid glue, foam tape, and also dry adhesive. How could I forget that? So what I found, a lot of people liked the Barely Arts, which is the one that I use. This is the Barely Arts. A lot of people liked the Art Glitter Glue, which sounds very similar, or maybe it might be a little bit thinner, I'm not sure. But there's a lot of reasons why you might choose a certain liquid glue for paper crafting, because you want something that's going to grab pretty quickly to your design. So say we're going to adhere a flower together. So with a liquid glue, and I shouldn't start with something intricate. I've been running around. So I'm like, oh, nah. But this one's the Barely Art. This is the one I've been using now for a while, because for me it's worked really well when it comes to a nice, quick and strong hold. It clogs for me a lot less than the multi-medium matte did, and comes with a choice of nozzles. So with the fine tip nozzle, I'm able to adhere on a pretty intricate die cut without too much problems, and you don't need a lot of it, and you'll get a good strong hold. Now, I was talking about my needle cap as well. So I like to use a pair of tweezers. I find it easier. If the glue seeps out, this one mostly I've found doesn't leave much of a shine. Some of the liquid glues, people don't like them because if they seep out, then they leave a shine. But I typically will use, like, this is like a craft knife kind of thing. It's actually a disposable hospital knife, and it because it gets covered in glue, so then I can just throw it away and get a new one. But to be honest, I've had this one probably for years. They really don't break. So I find if I scrape those little bits of glue that do seep out, I don't really have a problem with anything showing. But the multi-medium matte is a matte finish glue, so you're not going to have that. So if you're really someone that prefers, has a very similar strong hold as this does, it doesn't get that kind of shine potentially. The reason I moved away from this glue, because it's a great glue, was because it's a really small bottle, and the refill bottles are, Diana's just asking a question, I'll get back to that in a moment. The refill bottles are a jar and they're huge top. So like, how's that work? Does my head in. And the other reason was the caps would continually, the fine tip points, because this comes with a fairly fine tip point, but nothing like this one here. Like this is, I don't know if you can see the difference compared to, it's a huge difference. If I was trying to use this glue on that intricate die cut, it would be very frustrating. So I did try a lot of different things over the years, including, you know, buying bottle tops that would, I'd either usually just put them onto this one, and it's still clogged. So, or you could use the bottles and then pour it into this one. But it was worth it because it was such a good glue until I found out about the Barely Art. So it is a matter of finding what suits you. I will tell you the way that I ended up filling this bottle from this jar was literally with my finger. Seriously. In the end, I just found it was easier. I'd scoop it with my finger because it's not a very big jar. It didn't take too long. And I'd wear gloves usually because I'm a bit weird like that. But just scoop it in with my finger. And that's how I refilled this bottle. It's probably easier just to buy a new bottle each time, but then that kind of feels like it's expensive, comparatively speaking, to a big jar. So that's why I went across to that. But I'm going to have to use this up because I have it now, and I use glue. Just a little bit. So that was one of the questions, was how to refill these bottles here. It's a fairly thin-ish glue. So this one pours much easier. And the bottle top is a lot smaller. It's actually kind of made for pouring. And apparently this is the same shape that you can get honey in Canada. So good on you, Canada. Now, Diana Holtz has a question. I'm always careful about ordering glue in the winter months with it being so cold. I know that Gina K's does not freeze. Do you know if the Barely Arts has an additive so it doesn't freeze? Now, does anyone know the answer to that? Okay, yes. Thank you, Michelle. Barely Arts website says freeze/thaw stable. So they can ship year round. So that's good to know. And it says it has to be tested to the freeze thaw stable for 5 cycles. Perfect arts and crafts for the holidays. So yes. And that, Diana, the glue that you're talking about, the Gina K Connect glue, is very popular as well and a good glue. But I don't know if you can get refill bottles, but I think from memory, they're the long tube ones. Like they're not much bigger than a glue pen. So you're typically not getting a lot of bang for your buck. But I don't know the price of that glue because I've never used it. Yes, Kathleen saying that she's seen a YouTuber use a syringe to suck up the multi-medium matte into a smaller bottle but she tried it and it was messy. It's a fairly thick glue. I don't think, unless you can get a really wide tip syringe, I don't think that that's going to work very well. I agree. I wouldn't even bother trying, I don't think. Just use my finger. And I'll have to dive in and do that again to use it up probably. Another thing that Barbara was saying was that they've got a stopper for the Barely Arts, and I bought this tip kit a while ago when I thought I'd broken my pen, like one day when I was, you can sort of probably see it still. I'm going to zoom in a little bit. Just, I don't know if that's going to help or not, but I bent my pen and I thought I was a goner. So I bought a new one, and then I was able to like straighten it. So I've still been using that one. I never opened this, and I don't know if this is what she means, but there's a couple of things in here. I thought I wonder if it was, if there's actually a tip that covers the end in here, but I only really got it for the pin. It's an expensive pin, may I just say. Now, these have all got holes in them. Has that got a hole in it? Maybe it doesn't. Let me have a look. No, that is a cap, I think. I'm going to put the pin in there. I don't want to lose that. Because you need a stainless steel pin, and what I like about these, look how long that is. That is going to get through most nozzles that you're dealing with. A lot of the pins that you purchase elsewhere are, no, that doesn't feel like that goes on there. Or does that go on there? No. I haven't had a look, Barbara. I must check that out and see if I can source that so everyone can have a look at that. But I'd not heard of a tip for that the Barely Arts have made, and I didn't get a chance to check it out. So I just thought maybe it might be in there. That would have been easy. But it's good to know that you can get a new pin if you need it. If you're, sometimes what people have is the end of the pin comes off as you're pulling it out. I would, and have used like a pair of forceps to grab hold of it and pull it out. Otherwise, pliers could work as well, but you're probably done for if the head of the pins come off. You're probably not going to be able to save that pin, but at least you'll still be able to use the tip. Okay, what is it? Someone mentioned using steel corsage pins. Well, that would make sense because they're a nice long pin and they'll be stainless steel too, because and nice and strong. I like that idea. We're not sticking anything together yet, are we, much? All right, let's get some flowers happening. Someone else mentioned, does anyone use glue sticks at all? This is just like a school grade one that I had. I don't even know. I just had it in my drawer. It says for scrapbooking. So it must be, you'd think it'd be acid free. So it'd be like archival. But I think I over glue when I use something like this, and I find that the cardstock would warp. But I know that some people really do enjoy using glue sticks because they're quick and easy and they're very affordable. Okay, what do I want to glue next? I'm just going to use, so I'm going to use, I typically use different glues for different reasons. I was going to show you with the dotted tape, and we've had a couple of discussions about this. Michelle's got a tip. The way that she uses the multimedia mat, she spreads a bit on the glass mat and dips those intricate pieces into it, just the bottom. Naturally, yes, I've done that as well. That does work very well. So you just pour a little bit of glue on your mat, and then you can just touch to the glue, pick up the glue on the intricate parts, and then adhere it on. It's really only the intricate dies that we have more trouble with. So things like the sticky specks or the micro dots. But dotted tape runner, what it does, it will only stick to the die cut, the actual cardstock. The only problem with that is some of the brands, I'm not, can you see, like there's little bits of glue sometimes that hang over the edge. Some die cuts I find that will happen a lot on, and others like that didn't happen too badly on this one here. So that's a really quick and easy way to use a dry adhesive on an intricate die cut. And one thing I do like about the dotted adhesive is it's a little bit forgiving. You can move it, see, and I can just, if there's any bits hanging over, so it allows me to shift it a little bit, not a lot, but once it's set, it stays set. Now you don't want things falling apart, so you do want to buy the best glue that you can afford that's not going to allow things to fall apart. Lisa's asking if anyone's tried the Papercraft glues. No, I haven't. No. I've got a Papercraft shop near me. I don't really go in there very much. I usually see it when I'm going to the post office to pick up my parcel. Oh, speaking of parcels. Then, yeah. You guys enabled me. Can I just say, you're bad. All right, so the other way that you can do intricate layering of dies, and I didn't have time to get one ready, but it's the A4 adhesive, you know, just the adhesive sheet. So I've got a few different kinds. I'm trying to use them up and just go down to like one brand, but basically you can adhere this. It's basically dry double-sided tape. If you don't have the A4 sheets, it doesn't matter. You can actually use just regular tape and just do lines of it next to each other and then do your die cutting. That would work well too, but otherwise just use the strong-as tapes. You can just stick that down, turn that over, and then put your die cut on top, run it through the die cutting machine, and it turns into a sticker. The thing I don't like about that is that I find they're very strong, a lot of these, and doesn't give you a lot of maneuverability when it comes to a really intricate die cut. So that hasn't worked for me so well, but I would think if you're struggling with the liquid glues, that could be something worth trying. Maybe get one that doesn't stick so strong initially, because even though they might not stick strong initially, often you'll find that that once, you know, give it a bit of time, like a few hours, you turn around and it's got a really strong hold. So I'll just throw this flower together. I'm not even sure what I'm going to make today. Oh, a card. I'm going to make a card. Now, the other thing I was going to talk about was foam tape. And I may or may not have bought some more this week. Did you see my drawers? I do not need any more right now, but I did. I think I shifted that. The good thing is these glues dry, clear. So it's good to have, like, this is just, if you've got a good craft knife, I wouldn't use it to remove old glue. I'd have just like use an old blade or something like that. And don't have to push too hard because you don't want to scratch your paper, especially if it's design paper, because it can, knives can scratch that. I did that yesterday. I got excited. I bought the new Ultra foam tapes. They came to Australia. So I needed them. No, I didn't. You're right. I didn't need them, but I wanted them. And there's something I want to test with these too. I'll do it while you're here. What I like, look at this one. Look how thick that is. That's 1/8 of an inch. So I wonder how long they're going to last. It's a pretty long roll. I think it's 29 feet. That's a fat one. Can you see? I can show you. Compared to this, this is the regular size, this one. So did I need it? No. Did I have to buy 4? Yes, because they're in a set. And I got very excited. So that's the regular size. And I was saying something else, wasn't I? Oh yeah, I was going to test something. Where is the beginning? Ah! You tearers. Look at you guys go. You know those people who want to tear their tape? They don't want to get the scissors out? I heard a rumour, and it's true. Is everybody happy? I'm still probably going to cut mine. Oh, that's pretty cool. I heard the rumour, and it is true. And I didn't know that till a couple of days ago. So pretty exciting for you tape tearers. Alton, you listened, obviously. So, foam tape. The other thing I was going to talk about with foam tape is apparently Pear Blossom Press has a very good foam tape. I think it's extra wide as well. Was I going to use a different glue? Probably not. I was just going to adhere these together because why not? While we're talking. And theirs is different because it's because they have all that light up card stuff. So when you start adding dimension like that inside a card, try not to overglue, then you need that extra space. So theirs is extra wide. The other thing about theirs is apparently it's removable. What do you call it? Repositionable is the word I'm trying to look for. So apparently it's repositionable for up to, I heard 24 hours. I don't know if that can be possible, if that's actually a thing that can happen. But that's, if that's true, if anyone knows if that's true, I'd be interested to know if they've tried it and what they think of it. And someone else also mentioned about apparently the Gina K foam tape. She has, I don't know if it's foam strips or foam tape, but it's made for shaker cards, and on the edges of the tape it's not sticky. Not that this is sticky either. I must try this on some shaker cards because you know I like them. This does not feel sticky at all, but apparently she has one that's made for shaker strips that have no adhesive on the sides. So that would be interesting. I feel. We're getting some flowers together now. Woohoo! Winner, winner. So Kathleen's saying that she's been going through some older card samples she made for classes and has used the double-sided tape has now gone off and either lifted or lost its stick. That is really disappointing, Kathleen. I've got cards that I've made like years ago for whatever reason, and with the glues that I've used, none of the panels have lifted, none of the embellishments have come off, except for I made this ice cream card once and I put little plastic circle dots on, and they were and I honestly, I just probably think I didn't put enough glue, but being a circle too didn't really give it a lot of chance. So, and it would have got knocked because they just sit loose. I don't package them into plastic sleeves or anything. So that's the only thing. All the other kind of embellishments that I've put on overall, they've all stayed as well. Lisa says she's still using her scissors. Yes, go. We'll be the scissor team. Yes, it's got to look neat on the back. But it's good for the tear people. We've got to look after everybody. Everyone, we need everybody to be happy. Okay, what else? I've got a little list in front of me here. Jen was saying that she adds distilled water to, she just uses regular PVA glue and she uses distilled water if it starts to get a little bit thick. So that's, I'd never heard of that before. It kind of makes sense. People dilute, not that shampoo's the same, but they dilute shampoo down. So it's kind of thinking best wishes. I did hugs as well, but then I can't find my dye to do anymore. So we'll go with best wishes just because. Where is it? I should have another one in here. Yeah, so that was an interesting thing. I hadn't actually heard of anyone doing that. And there's some amazing glues out there that people are mentioning that I've never heard of either. Adhering on glitter, that was a question as well. So I'm going to, but first, oh sorry, I'll just talk about this. With the, like, so we've done the, I find liquid glue is probably one of the easiest ways to join intricate die cuts together. But if anyone has trouble with, you know, like the dotty on that, these are pretty forgiving, and you'll have to excuse this pen because it's meant to come out blue and dry clear. That way you know when it's done. But this pen's never had any blue in it. I promise you it still works fine. I think they forgot the blue that day. They weren't in a blue mood. But you have a little bit of wiggle room. You don't have to focus on the intricacies. Normally I do it on a scrap piece of paper because I don't like getting glue all over my workspace. But I used this for a very long time until I got the Barely Arts, but this works very well and I haven't had a problem with it falling apart. Zig make really good adhesive products. They have their dots are good as well. Oh, and speaking of glue dots, I didn't mention those in the video as well. Glue dots are a really good option. I'm going to glue it to the paper, aren't I now? Silicone mat would have been better to raise. Anyway, we'll get there. But yeah, glue dots, I use them for years. I've just gone away from them now purely because I'm using liquid glue more. But they're a really good dry adhesive option and they adhere really quickly and very strongly. I will never not have, I'll show you my favourite glue dots ever. You can get them on sheets and you can get them in these, but these are called pop-up. I presume, I don't even know if I'm sure they sell them still. I didn't check actually, probably forgot to link them as well. But can you see how fat that is? It's like a, it's actually about, it has to be a couple of millimeters fat. And if you've got, you know, things like fabric flowers, or, you know, like anything that just won't stick. Oh, I wonder if it would hold wax. But, and anything that you want a little bit of dimension and a lot of adhesion. These are the Zot dots. Zot dots are very similar to these. They've got a dimensional version as well, and they're awesome. Wherever you stick this, they're not going anywhere. And they're also a good option if you can. I've cut them up before and then popped up really small, intricate die cuts, and then you can't see it underneath. And these would hold on glitter. The other thing on glitter is liquid glue. So I'd use like a nice strong liquid glue on glitter and just allow a lot of time for it to dry. Yeah, Mandy's saying, I wonder if you could use the distilled water in the multimedia mat to make it easier to decant in the bottles. Then you could use a funnel. I think that might be a good option. That might work well. It might be the only way I'm going to get my matte medium used. And then I might go back to it because it's, you know, got that matte finish and a good hold. I suppose, I wonder, you wouldn't want to add too much because you don't want to lose the, I'll just show you this now with the dot, how I normally would do it nowadays, just because I've gone across to using this. It's hard to see. Let me just put something dark behind there. Sherry says, I think you use glue dots by the sound of it. But yeah, they hold. There's something, I know they stand the test of time. But it's so disappointing. I mean, anything can fall apart, obviously, and I suppose I never think about posting things in winter to the US or Canada or wherever there's a lot of extreme weather. Does that affect a card that's already been made, or, you know, with that, does the cold weather affect that? Does anyone know? I'd be interested to know. You kind of think once it's glued together, it's not out in the elements. It shouldn't be out in the elements for too long. So I've added the glue, lay it on top, and then the liquid glue gives me a little bit more wriggle time. Don't know which black cardstock this is, but it didn't die cut as nicely as the white. I've got a couple of brands of black cardstock, and because I couldn't get the jet black from Altenew for a while, and I don't know, some cardstocks they cut differently. It's like, you know, when you adhere with a bit of low tack tape, some cardstocks adhere differently. It's the same kind of thing. Oh, did you get my note? Save the date. I need my team there with me. I'm going on Craft Roulette next Friday in the US, 4:30 in the afternoon, which is 10:30 in the morning, Brisbane time. Which is nice, I get a bit of sleep in that day. So, okay, see how it's just not as quite as neat on the edges there? Alrighty, what else is it going to talk about? The other dimensional, it is a glue. And it's a glue I have, this is one, I've just got this old bottle. It doesn't even work now, dead. I'm going to throw it, but I found it. But glossy accents give such a really fun effect to images. It gives that clear dimension, but I don't use it enough to stop it from dying in the bottle. Like, it just gets so clogged up, and then the whole bottle here is now just solid glue. So I hate it. I went across to buying the small bottles so that I was only throwing away a small bottle. But the Nouveau Crystal Glaze, if anyone wants a dimensional, I just put some on this little, got glue on my fingers. Can you see the shine on her little flower? This, I haven't opened this bottle for 12 months. I would say, since I've done it. And it still works perfectly. It's amazing. So if you like that, it's a thinner dimensional glue, still gives the shine and still puts the dimension on. But I didn't concentrate very hard there. But you do have to be a little bit more careful when you're applying it so it doesn't go outside the lines. That time needs adjusting. It happens later in the evening. Oh yeah, it's 4:30 PST. What's that mean? Is that Pacific Standard Time, perhaps? Because M's Mountain, isn't it? Sorry, I don't know all the times in the US. So it's 10:30 Australian Eastern Standard Time, not daylight savings, and 4:30 Pacific Standard Time. So do you know what that is, Michelle? What time that will work out? 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Thank you. So that's on Friday, the 28th of February. And I did not like the card I made last time. So I needed to work more on it, and I just felt like I couldn't sit there for 3 hours and do that. 7:30? 7:30. It actually does start at 10 past, but that is just, it's a roll of all the pictures of the cards that have been added to the gallery. So if you don't know what Craft Roulette is, I've added the link to both my live with Mary Gunn, and I've added the link to what Craft Roulette is. It's a game show. It's a card making game show where we get 4 parameters and you have to make a card. No pressure. You don't know what you don't know what you're going to make. You don't know what parameters you're going to get. So, next. Okay, I'm not sure if I'm going to do, I'll just do this now because I can. Here, let's see how this goes. I forgot to put the lid back on, didn't I? I may or may not have bought something else. Like, honestly, and it was glue related. Like, how hopeless am I? I am narrowing down what I'm using, but I'm just buying more of the same stuff that I'm using. Just terrible, isn't it? Did anyone guess what it might be? Because everyone was mentioning it in the comments, and I'd only just heard rumours of it. It came out a year ago, and Bobby was saying, it's your fault, Bobby, how much she loves her precision glue press. So I may or may not have bought this. Oh, thanks for the link, Michelle. So that's to my live. So I'm pretty excited. I won't tell you how many times. Oh, there's my hug guy. won't tell you how many times I went down to the door yesterday thinking that the mailman was there. Because once I found out that I could add my belly art glue to here, because I thought you had to use, see, I hadn't even looked into it. I thought I had to use the Nouveau. Not that I've got anything against the Nouveau. You know that because I just said I like the Nouveau. But once I found out that they have like a refillable bottle and that I can use my preferred glue in there. I don't think you can use all glues. I would not think that a really thick glue or a really thin glue might work. But I just thought I'd take the plunge. It's for you. I'm taking one for the team. Taking one for you guys. But I read both good and bad reviews. So there is, most people seem to like it. You know, you have to, I'm not sure if I'm going to use the shadow here yet. But there's some, I imagine, like it's the first version. It's like the first Misty. It only got better. And I do love my Misties. So I do like Sweet Petunia's products. So I thought, well, I heard some good stuff, so why not? I'm not really sure what kind of colours I'm going to do here. And then it was kind of, as soon as I heard I could use the belly art glue in there, I'm going to use it. But one lady was saying that the art glitter glue, it seemed like it was too thin. But most people have been telling me that the art glitter and the belly are very, I'm on first name terms with the belly art, obviously, are very similar. So I've got way too many flowers here, haven't I? But I might have to end up making a couple of cards. Not today, but not like I won't make you sit around and watch that. But yeah, so I'm going to play with that and see what I think. It's not cheap, but I figured I only have to buy it once and I'll never have to recap again. I don't know what to do with all my knitting needles thingies. Not sure if I need that. A lot of flowers there. But yeah, so I'm pretty excited to give it a try. So Karen's saying, if you have arthritic hands, the glue press is wonderful. And that's why one of the reasons why I bought it, because I get some arthritis in through here. But then one of the comments was, it's really hard to push. So I'll find out if I agree with that or not. Maybe I just won't fill the bottle to full, because I don't know if anyone else knows what I'm talking about. Because I'm assuming that you guys did, because I was in the dark. I was in the dark. Because basically, when you push on the handle here, or grip the handle, it pushes up on the glue bottle and releases the glue. So this is a full jar of the Nouveau glue. I think I'm taking the whole thing off, aren't I? I know. And then this has a pin in here, and that's got a fine tip. So I would go insane if I had to do that every time and find the pinhole. I like the idea. Excuse me. But it's not long enough. Like the pin's definitely, I don't think the pin's long enough, because clogging sort of happens down here. And it comes with a second tip. I'm going to have a drink of water. And the excuse me, the second tip is a regular, oh no, it's fatter, so it's not as fine, and that's got a clip. And then this little lid can sit here, and there's a silicone button in there. So basically the theory is you can take this off, leave your glue gun sitting in there on the silicone button, and you never have to recap again. And then you just take it out, use your glue however you want, and then you just sit it back in. I imagine it's going to have some same issues if I just do what I did before and just leave this off to the side without capping it. It's going to have the same kind of problems. I also get to try another glue. I did not need more glue. But I couldn't help myself. Kind of got a non-slip base. It's a bit patty, but not non-slip. I'll see if that annoys me or not. It does move a little bit. Excuse the noise. Not a lot. Anyway, I'll let you know. You'll see. If I stop using it, then you know I don't like it. But usually you don't hear about it. That's a sign. I don't like to make negative comments too often unless it's something that I just rather be constructive than negative. And Lisa, before I forget, this is the hook that you were asking me about. It's just IKEA. It probably costs like $1 or $2. I hang it on the side of the Rasgog and keep my tape, the one hanging on there. The other thing I use is the command hook. So I just got these from Amazon. Make sure I link these ones that I got. They are wider, but they actually fit a roll of tape in there, and I command hook these to everything and hang stuff off them, especially rolls of tape. Works really well. Okay, elephant in the room time. Some people struggle with using, do you want me to zoom out? Some people struggle with the ATG, and I was just going to let you know how I use it. It says to push the button, because you need to push the button to activate the roller. If you don't push the button, it doesn't release the roller, it doesn't go anywhere. And my understanding is they're this big because they're actually made for people who are framers. I wish they'd make one for card makers and scrapbookers. So I push the roller, but I don't let go of the roller. I just hold it in the whole time. I found when I was pushing and releasing the roller all the time that I didn't get good results. So I basically hold the trigger in, put the gun to the cardstock, pull, and then just lift off. And then I just let go of it then. I mean, I'm not lying. And this is the other thing. Someone was saying, because that's, if you lift it too quick, you can end up with these little rolls of glue. If that happens and it's going to be a problem, I just pull that off, which could be annoying. But it took me a while to get used to. So, but I do like the actual mechanism. So yeah, I found just holding that in, but it did take a bit of practice. So if you've got one and you're not, haven't had a lot of luck with it, you have invested in one, it might be just worth giving it another try. Yeah, look at that. That's lovely and crooked. Now talk about concentrate. Anyway. And the trouble is I always overglue. So, and I think I did link one of these. I couldn't find the little chiseler one, but Ranger make cool black one. So I'd probably lose. I do like the fact this is bright pink. And then twist your paper. Not that I really need to save this, but it's worth trying. Try again. Now, stop distracting me. I still want to put my head under the camera. I'll probably cut the panel. Oh no, it's not the panel. It was me. Definitely was me. Yeah. Oh, these are like, these like $1, a couple of dollars. I don't know, I've had that forever. That one's called the Little Chiseler. You can use it to lift up images and stuff as well. I think I do need that on the shadow. What other questions did I have? Oh, the other thing that I didn't mention was if you want foam tape, but you're not really confident with, you know, some of them are very sticky, the foam tapes. Did you know that you can add glue to the foam tape on the piece that you're going to put down on the cardstock? And that gives you a bit of wriggle time. So if you've got shaky hands, or look what I've done there. I left that counter, that's what a centre of a letter is called, in the S. Yeah, so like you normally would, just add the foam tape to the back of something, and if you add just a few dots of glue, you've got a bit of time to wriggle it onto the cardstock and make sure it's straight without stressing about getting it straight immediately, like as you lay it down. It's just a good tip that, oh, it was Karen, I wrote that one down. Karen shared with me. But yes, I rarely do that, but sometimes it'll come in very handy. So, do you reckon I've got enough flowers? I think so. Plenty. You always need plenty of flowers and leaves. And I'll stop talking now because I'm concentrating. I'm gonna have to go back and read this. You know that, don't you? Oh, I want a big one up there, don't I? I reckon I need that under the big flower. That looks pretty good. All right. So, which glue for what? Too many choices. So the reason I'm choosing this glue here is it's dotted, so it's going to work okay on the intricate part there. And it's also repositionable if I need it to be. So I can lift it up and move it if I'm not happy. And I often do that when I'm doing a bouquet if I haven't already determined where everything's going to be. Like today, it's like I've got no idea what I'm doing, but we're just making a card and talking about glues, so again, I don't want that showing out the edge. What was the gadget? Is that Sherry asking? I've got one linked. It's are you talking about this here, Sherry? I'm sure I put the Ranger one in. Scraper tool? I think theirs is called a scraper tool. No, I can't do it. I'm staying with you, Lisa. I might convert one day, but I doubt it. And we're talking about using scissors to cut foam tape, just in case you missed that conversation. Okay. And I thought I might just put this sentiment straight onto the cardstock. Normally I'd pop that up, but now I want to know, is anyone else in the chat, has anyone else got the precision and what your thoughts are on it? Is it a gimmick? Or is it best money you ever spent? Because it's to do with adhesive and glue. I've got bowls everywhere. Sherry was wondering how to glue vellum to cardstock without it showing. So I've got, there are special vellum adhesives that you can use. Ideally, the best way to glue vellum is not to glue vellum. If you can wrap it around something, or if you've got a sentiment or a flower that you can use, and then put your adhesive under that rather than where it's going to be visible. But just let me talk amongst yourselves for a minute. Have I got it in here? Might be over in the other one. There are, like, the sticky dots. I've seen people use that with vellum. See, I've still got more glue. Just dust that off. But this is called Miracle Adhesive Film. I don't even know if I've used it, but I bought it to try. I don't even know if you can still get it, but I think it's going to be similar. I might have used it. Yeah, so, and I know that there's a micro adhesive dot from, yeah, so it is. It's the same, it's even more finer. And I wonder if that's woodware. I don't even know if they can still get them or not. But this is the style of thing that you need. The sticky dots, that can work as well. But I would recommend covering the whole thing, because it can look different if you're just putting a little bit in. Like, when I say look different, you can see it through a little bit. But if you've covered the whole sheet of vellum with the dots, it sort of all looks the same, at least. Kind of feeling. Has anyone else got any suggestions? Any vellum suggestions? Kind of feel. Wondering if we need this and this. Too much? Never. And this is why I'm just going for the liquid glue so often now, whereas I never was before. So that's why, one of the reasons why I could justify investing, see the words I'm using here, in the precision glue press. Yeah, whatever. It's an excuse to spend money on adhesive. Face facts, Therese. Creative expressions that makes woodware closed this week. Oh no, that's another store. Oh, lucky we've got some amazing stores still looking after us. I'll stick to our friends. Do we need more? Could probably use a little bit more. See, if I put this here and I don't like it, I can lift it up, because it's the dotted adhesive and it typically doesn't rip the paper. It's not too bad. I need some pink down, some more pink down here, and I'll do that with liquid glue. The other thing I must say that I do is that good English? is I adhere rhinestones and also enamel dots. I might not always show it in the videos, but typically I will lift them up and put a dot of liquid adhesive behind them. I just don't want them falling apart. Look how busy my card is. I'm very proud of myself. And I normally wouldn't put the dotted adhesive behind a flower. Often I'll use dimension instead. But have I missed any really important questions? Because if I have, I'm happy to answer. Just let me know now, because I'm going to sign off shortly. So if you write them in, they should show up in time. How pretty is this? Is that too much? Too much. I think it needs some bling. What are we doing? Oh. And put your head down and then come back up again. We're on a spellbinders day today. Had an urge. Look at me. See, if I had the other one, you'd hope I'd put it back in the thing, but that's may or may not happen. And I'll do these in groups of, like, I'll make a triangle. Oops, let me go. Balance that a bit better to my crooked background. What do you think? Where's my thingy? Did I miss any questions? Sherry's saying her piece of vellum is underneath the centre display. That way she just glue underneath the centre of the cardstock, but both the sides and corners will be loose. If I do it this way, the vellum has a tendency to curl. So you may be better off with one of these. This is the sticky specs, but I know that Simon Says has their own brand of micro dots, is basically what it is. So you could get your piece of vellum. This is basically a sheet of really tiny acetate, won't work, will it? Tiny dots. Let me cut them off. I think this sheet's been used too, so it might not be full of dots. We'll see. No, it's not. Go this way. I think that's the side that's used. But basically what you do is you put vellum on there, pick up all the bits of dye, because this has been used though. And then it's got, probably can't see, tiny little dots all over it. This is the one thing I don't like about this sort of stuff. I don't know what the Simon Says brand is like, but it does leave a little bit of adhesive on the edges. So when you are doing intricate die cuts, but then the whole thing, excuse my glue on the back, the whole thing sticks down then. So maybe that might help what you're creating with the vellum. Be worth giving it a go anyway, because you get I can't remember how many sheets. I don't think the sticky specs was available, so I think I actually linked to the Simon Says brand. What other questions? Another way to adhere vellum is to use photo corners, if you can still get them. Oh, I remember photo corners. Oh, Tracy's here. Hello. Sorry, I haven't even got a chance to see everyone that's here. I haven't seen you for a while. Hope you're good. Okay, Cece's saying sometimes it works to use a glue stick. Is that the English word? Yes, it is, with vellum, but just a very thin layer. That would make sense because then you're going to get adhesion with without too much. That might be the way I could use my glue stick. I'll leave that there and see how that sticks. Wonderful. And because especially some of these, no, someone was talking about a really, in the comments, have a look at the comments under the video that I did because there's some really good chit chat about great glues. So hopefully that answered a lot of the questions. Craft Roulette next Friday in the US, Saturday in Australia, New Zealand, and the times are, when we say Eastern Standard Time, I think it starts at 7:30 p.m. But the show itself starts a little bit earlier than that. Not sure when I'll be back for a live because I'm doing that one next week, but I will email you and let you know about that. I think that's everything I needed to talk about. I might have to do the whole precision glue filly thing and let you know how I go with that. Thanks so much for joining me. If I did miss any questions, I apologise. Make sure that you type them in the comments below or email them to me at Therese@lostinpaper.com and I can get back to you with the best answer that I can. If not, we're all experts with our glues and we know what we like, so someone will be able to help us. Alrighty, till next time, happy paper crafting. Bye.